Okay, what's up my fellow Terrarians? This is Nova and welcome to part 2 of, my Terraria Edorbis mod mechanical class playthrough. Now for those who have, yet to watch part 1, I suggest you do so that, things will make a lot more sense during this playthrough. Otherwise, you can stick around if you don't really care about all that stuff and watch. Now I've gotten the intro out of the way, let's get right on to the playthrough. I started off by crafting an altar exterminator, and then I used that item to break every single altar on this Terraria world, which then spawned a bunch of wraiths that, strangely enough, are trying to gut me.
Bit rude to put that knife in me chest, innit, bruv?
After killing all the wraiths, I began mining for some palladium ore to craft some bars, which I would then use to craft some armor later on. Once I had mined enough ore, I then went back to base. I crafted some bars, which I then used to craft a pickaxe. Since I yearned for the mines like most children, I went back to the mines and I started mining for some mithril ore. Once I had mined enough mithril ore, I went back to base again and then crafted a pickaxe. I then did something unusual. I went to the dungeon pre-Plantera, and I was here to kill a certain skeleton that spawns in the post Wall of Flesh dungeon, and that skeleton is the engineering skeleton. It drops this material called high-tech salvage, which is dropped by the skeletons. And this enemy, it's not really that tough. So after I had farmed enough of this enemy, I went back to base, and then I used the materials dropped from the enemy and combined it with the palladium ore to craft the neo palladium armor set, and then also the palladium wrench. I tried out the wrench only to discover that this wrench was pretty gash, pretty terrible wrench. I'm not going to use it, not planning to use it at all. So I'll stick to my old wrench. I went back down to the mines to start mining for some titanium ore. Once I had done the mining and mined enough ore, I went back to base and crafted a titanium forge, and also replaced the rather terrible palladium wrench. And I also crafted a jelly crystal boss summoner. I also crafted a turret pendant, and I also crafted a mithril turret. I then went back to the jungle arena that I built last episode, and summoned the queen slime. So enjoy the fight. I then paid a visit to the verdant goddess to hear what they have to say for themselves. The powerful spirits has been released. With us more free, we will begin to see couple changes. You might have already noticed, pick up anyhow, as tanks, tickets don't need it anymore. And while you're here, know that I will reward you for defeating more evil, so check in sometimes. They then began to ramble a bunch of incoherent nonsense, not really seeing anything worthwhile. I got the growth heart, which is a consumable that increases minion damage. Maybe next playthrough I might play as a summoner, since a lot of things are pointing that direction. I then went up to the Scare Islands and did my due diligence by killing a bunch of wyverns and getting some souls of flight, which I'm going to use to, get some better wings so I'm not stuck using these garbage legendary wings throughout the entire playthrough. After getting a good amount of souls, I went back to base and crafted the Harpy wings and the Charm of Meats accessory and 2 mechanical boss summoners, plus a time changer, and also another mechanical boss summoner, and a rod of discord. I then went to another arena and summoned the twins. Now let's see how this goes. Twins have always been, a rather scary fight for some reason, at least to me. They do a bunch of damage and have an insanely fast attack, especially the Retin Laser, the laser that can deal highest amounts of damage and it shoots incredibly fast. Since they also a good bit till daytime, I decided to, fight the destroyer because why not? I was feeling the adrenaline rushing through me. The fight took a bit longer than I had expected, to be honest. I didn't think I was going to make it, which is, pretty bog standard for, the destroyer. Because if you don't have a piercing weapon, you are basically screwed when it comes to damage. I briefly went back to base to craft the Hallowed Wrench. I then went back to the arena and summoned Skeletron Prime. I would have used the Hallowed Wrench, but the Titanium Wrench is just so OP. As usual, Skeletron Prime is just as useless as his fleshy counterpart. I don't know if I would describe Skeletron as, particularly particle is fleshy. I once again then made my way back to base and crafted a whole lot of steampunk bars and also a pickaxe axe. I then opened a wall of flesh treasure bag in order to get the engineering emblem. Looks like I got it. Show's over, I guess. Or is it? Well, you see, a commenter on my previous video had, brought up a very interesting point that, maybe you could change a vanilla emblem into a modded one through the shimmer. Now, being me, I was skeptical to this. I said that it probably wasn't possible due to a lot of mods not, thinking in this direction. The shimmer is a rather recent addition to Terraria, so a lot of mods might not have updated their, specific class emblems to be able to do such a thing. But maybe I was wrong, and the modders had, thought about this, and I just, was underestimating them. So I went back down, to go find the shimmer just in case I was wrong, and I'd prejudged without any, evidence to back this up. Basically, I'm going to fact check myself on this. Now that I have found the shimmer, let's put things to the test. Okay, unfortunately, I was, correct in my previous assessment, but it was, worth a try to see if I was, wrong or not. I went to visit the goddess again. All of those machines are vanished. Well done after making something. It's odd but fun. We hope you will enjoy it. They gave me some kind of summonable wings, I guess. Quite useless since I already have wings. I then paid a visit to my rather, terrible jungle arena I used for the Queen Bee and started making some minor changes and adjustments, like, widening the arena's reach and, making the space bigger, moving things around here and there. I'm doing this so that, the Plantera fight would be a lot easier for me to do. After clearing enough space for Plantera, I went back to base and crafted a new boss summoner. I went out to hell and used the cursed soul to summon the cursed preacher boss, which is, quite unfortunate that this is the last modded boss in the game. I thought that this was going to be a rather easy fight, but oh boy, was I wrong. I mean, of course I'm wrong. This is, the Edorbis mod, right? A lot of their bosses are just, insane mode for some reason. It did not take too long until I got, game ended by the boss. So I decided to, switch locations in order to perhaps stand a better chance at fighting this boss. For being the final modded boss, it wasn't, too bad of an experience. The boss shot at some insane amount of projectile attacks that dealt even more damage due to, inflating the cursed flame debuff that I could have actually gotten rid of if I just, drank a specific potion, but I didn't think of that when fighting this boss. He dropped a couple of crafting materials and also a new turret for me, Thanks. And then went over to the jungle to start the Plantera fight. And spoiler alerts, things get really bad, like really bad. But you see, Plantera, at least for me, has been a rather, easy boss that literally takes no time to beat at all. But for some strange reason, this time was a lot more different than the others. Plantera tagged me basically a lot more than she usually does. Thus, doing a lot more damage, which then led to me, dying easily. So, at first I thought like, okay, this was, a fluke from Terra, so let's try that again. This time will be better, I guaranteed it. Or so I thought. The same thing happened again, and I was slowly but surely starting to lose my mind. So I was forced to, rethink my, strategy and how to approach Plantera again. I changed my armor into the hallowed armor set for, better protection. And then went back down to the arena again and expanded it this time, made it a lot larger than usual. I did that and then summoned Plantera again. Let's see if, the expanding of the arena really did anything for me. Surprise, this went, a whole lot better this time than before. Yes! Yes! It does seem like the third time is the charm after all, and the size of the arena really mattered when dealing with Plantera. There was plenty of value in our treasure bag, unfortunately. I then teleported to the jungle temple. The place was, filled with ghouls, goblins, and also, those, little guys called lizards or something, I guess. I came in here to get some, lizard power cells. I explored the place until I got to the jungle temple entrance, and then teleported back to base. After the jungle excursion, I made my way to post Plantera dungeon. I'm here to start, grinding for some ectoplasm, or as it is commonly known, ghost goo. I was down here for about 30 minutes ish or so, and after getting a lot of ectoplasm, I then went back to base and then crafted the steampunk armor set using the steampunk bars from before. So crafted the steampunk wrench and the bone wings, plus the master ninja gear accessory, and finally the master engineer emblem. I also upgraded my previous blueprints to a brand new blueprint. Also got a new marker. Being really geared up, I went back to the jungle temple in order to fight the golem and completely destroy it. Well, completely wreck golem, hopefully anyway. Golem fight was a lot easier than I had originally thought that this was going to be, and because of that I decided to fight another golem just to flex. Really just flexing, no ulterior motive at all. This one did not go as smoothly as the one before, but it was still manageable. I came back to the Verdant to see what the goddess had to say. The horrific plant is dead. This frees up many opportunities. This is a smaller boon, but we hope it helps. You may now create more of these for yourself as well. Feel free to take these as well. With these, we are certain they will help. The temple protector felt this is a bit of a passion project of mine. We don't know if it will help much, but we suspect it will be fun. Best of luck. They gave me, a couple of materials to be able to, craft some summoner armor and also, chlorophyte plants, which, grow chlorophytes. I found a Martian probe off screen and decided spawning the Martians. I did this in order to get some, Martian plate blocks. And also, if I'm lucky enough, a brand new wrench from the Martian Saucers. I fought and killed a bunch of Martians and Martian Saucers, but unfortunately now got the wrench. But I did get more than enough Martian plating, which I then used to craft the Martian armor. After that, I got some truffle worms, headed down to the ocean and summoned in the High Duke of all mutated terrors, the Duke Fishron. The Duke did not stand a chance against me. Now let's see what's in the sack. Well, no Fishron wings, but I did get a flex on Fishron though. I then went back to base and crafted the Martian blueprint and used it to start forming the Martian Saucers in hopes of getting the Martian wrench. First round down, no wrench. Second and third one down, no wrench either. None on the fourth one. But the fifth one dropped the Martian wrench. Although the drone that is summoned costs a lot more energy than other drones do, it is a rather fantastic drone, like a lot better than the rest. Maybe except the titanium wrench, that one is still pretty broken. On my way to the dungeon, I happened to come across these prismatic late wings and thought, why not fight the Empress of some rather suggestive light? And so I did. Again, not too difficult of a boss fight, even though there were, a few close calls here and there. Being this close to endgame, I felt that I might as well have a little bit of fun and bully the pirates. Just a bit, just a teensy bit. What harm could that possibly do? For those wondering, no, there is nothing stupid that happened. When I got done with the pirates, I went straight down to the dungeon in order to hang out with the boys. Okay, maybe not hang out per se, I guess. I was slapping the lunatic cultists so hard that they self-imploded. Now it was time for the end game. And I started off the end game by going after the pillars. I did not really have a specific order that I wanted to kill the pillars in, so I just started on whatever pillar was next to me or closest to me, which was the vortex pillar. After completely dismantling the vortex pillar, I moved on to the nebula pillar and did the same thing there as well. I then moved on to the solar pillar, and you guessed it, did the same thing there as well. And last but most certainly not least, the Stardust pillar, which I quickly deleted from the world. Now it's Moon Lord time. I waited on my brand new arena I built off screen for the Moon Lord to spawn so I could begin the fight. This was a rather intense fight with the Moon Lord. I almost died, a couple of times for, being too slow to teleport with the rest of this board. Now, let's look at what this Moon Lord drops from his, goodie bags. Okay, looks like he got a new drone. And also a couple of new materials called Centaurium or something. Wait a minute, wait a goddamn minute. Wow, this is an actual drone. This is an actual drone strike in the game, of course. This is in-game, not real life. Maybe I should start cosplaying as an American president instead of, an engineer, since I have a drone strike. Unfortunately, I can't make the new armor with the Centaurium, or because, I don't have enough of the Centaurium. So it was back to farming again. I went back to the dungeon to kill the cultists again and start the main fight again. After basically, drones tracking the cultists to death, now it was time to do what I did to the pillars before again. Here's a small montage of me destroying the pillars. Now it's time to polarize the Moon Lord, this time American style with my drone strikes. The Moon Lord was, an absolute cakewalk due to the amount of drone strikes it could not handle. I got some more Centaurium ore and then used it to craft a new marker. And then killed 2 more Moon Lords in order to get more ore. Once I had enough ore, I crafted the Centaurium wrench. I used the wrench to see how good it was in comparison to the drone strike. And it was kind of okay, I guess. Not as good as this drone strike though. I killed 2 more Moon Lords and got enough ore to finally craft the final armor of the playthrough, the Centaurium armor set. Okay, it's time for the altar. I'm going to be, briefly summarizing my thoughts and feelings about this mod so far by placing down these, armor sets for you to see. First of all, the mod as, a whole. My enjoyment of this mod was, like not severely, but, impacted in a not so, positive way due to the fact that there was not a comprehensive wiki out there for this mod that will guide me properly through what I had to do in order to proceed a lot farther into this mod. So I at times had to blindly feel my way around the mod, at times figure out how to progress. Otherwise the mod was rather decent for being a small content mod that you could just enjoy without having to think about the the bigger things in the mod's future. Say the Calamity mod. Now, how does the Engineering class stack up in comparison to the rest of the other classes? Now, you might have already heard me say this, that the Engineering class is, a rather difficult class to use, pre-hard mode. I'm happy to inform you that should you play this mod, that things do get a whole lot better in hard mode. You will have access to more buff stations, a wider assortment of weapons, and also more easily obtainable armor. Well, at least until you get to endgame where you have to farm like crazy to get just one armor set. In comparison to the other Terraria classes, it's just a basic, slightly more interesting version of the Summoner class. You've got your Summoner staffs called wrenches, your sentries called blueprints, and also your whips called markers. Although they don't really do direct contact damage like the whips do. It's just a budget summoner class that also happens to have a drone strike as a weapon. Anyways, I'm going to have a poll up in the community tab that you can go vote on which mod I should play next. After this video goes up. I can imagine, like, you know, not many people made it this far into the video. So for those that did, thanks for, you know, watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, and, you know, really leave a comment for the algorithm. And I will be seeing you all next time. Take care and bye.